What's going on, y'all? Hey, look, you've been told by women that they want a certain type of man that's kind, that's nice, that, you know, a good citizen, has a good job, isn't out there acting a fool, doing illegal stuff. But then when you look at all the women and you see who they're having children with, who they're reproducing with, who they're getting married to, a lot of these women will come online and say it themselves, their words, not mine, but they'll say, all men ain't nothing. They'll hate the man that they're with. They're complaining about how he doesn't do anything, whatever the case may be. Now, why is it? Where are all the women that have these great husbands or these great guys that they're seeing? Why are most of the women out there complaining about the guys? Well, I'll tell you why. This is because of female nature, okay? These women aren't forced into these relationships. These are the men that they're choosing, okay? And you might be one of those nice guys or one of those nerds or one of those squares, as they like to say. And you're wondering, why aren't you getting picked? But then you might notice that the old ladies at church, you know, the older women might be like, man, he's such a really nice guy. I wish I could hook him up with my daughter or something like that. Why is that? Well, again, it's because of female nature. You got to understand female nature. The reason why these so-called bad guys or these roughnecks, you know, Salt and Pepper famously said back in the day, I need a roughneck, gotta have a roughneck. The reason why they're picking these guys is because they pick these guys up front. This is what I call, or what others also have termed as, the front end game. It's the initial attraction. They have that edge to them, and it triggers a lot of female attraction. Why? Because up front, it shows that they're not a pushover, that they're strong, they lead with strength, that they can't be easily moved off of the frame. They don't play around. And so these women see this as, this man is strong, he can protect me. Maybe he might even get into a little bit of fights. He might be rough around the edges. So they looked at this man as a source of protection, a source of security for them. Whereas then they found out that later on, and this is where the hatred for these men come in by these women, they find out later on that they don't have the traits of the long end game. So these men can get the women, but the reason why they have 3 or 4 or multiple baby fathers is because they can't, they realize that these men don't have the long-term attraction traits. And that's when the nerd comes in. That's where the square comes in. That's where the upstanding citizen comes in at. And that's why you find out that a lot of times in life, later on, when these women hit 30, 40 years old, that they settle down with the nerd that they should have way back when. But the nerd didn't get him early on because he didn't have, or these types of guys didn't have the instant, the short term, the front end game attraction traits that women love. Okay? So I say all of that to say this. You as a man have to have both. Yes. You have to be Tupac and Obama at the same time. You got to be Brad Pitt from Fight Club, and you also have to be, pick your favorite politician, J.D. Vance, or if you're liberal, Bill Clinton, right? You got to have that rough side, and you got to have that smooth business, serious side at the same time. Now, you might say, oh, well, I'm not changing who I am. I'm not saying that, but you got to lean into both traits. You have rough traits. You got to tap into that edge that God had put inside of you as a man, that masculinity, okay? And that's what it boils down to. Roughnecks, rough guys, thugs exhibit a certain level of masculinity. but they also fail on some masculine traits too. They might be a little bit more emotional. They lash out more. They can't control themselves. They don't have they don't have that discipline like the nerd or the square, where the woman wants faithfulness, stuff like that. That's where the square comes in and has that long-term traits that can hold her for long term. So if you want the woman for long term, if you want to spend your life happy with a woman that gives you peace, that loves you, you want to have a long-term relationship, you got to exhibit both traits. And I'm not saying be somebody else, because it's going to come off as fake. You're going to fail the congruency test that women put you through. What I'm saying is you got to tap into who you are, into your purpose, unapologetically, without any apologies. Be who you are. Do what you want. Better yet, do what you find out that God built you for, what God created you for, your true purpose. And once you start doing that, the women are going to come automatically, just by nature, just by default. All right, so you want more tips? You want to learn more about female nature? You want to learn more about how to be that guy? Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to know. Tell me what you think. Tell me your experiences so we all can grow as a community, and I got you. I'm gonna make sure you get to that point that you want to get to in life. God willing, God bless. Stay masculine.